4 Kids, one of the biggest names in children's anime from the late 90s to the early 2010s. If you played this game, or this game, you probably watched these shows, which means that you're familiar with their logo and their footprint. If you've seen a conspicuous edit to remove offensive or harmful material, or a dub line to change a Japanese name to an American thing, that's 4 Kids. But nowadays it feels like 4 Kids has just fallen off the radar. Where are they now? Do they even do anything anymore? And most importantly, how did one of the biggest names in licensing children's media, and possibly the biggest gateway into anime for children, fall off? Let's unbox this sucker. 4 Kids began in the 1970s under the name Leisure Concepts Incorporated. They formed partnerships with many companies, including Rankin Bass, the Christmas people. In the 80s, they licensed actual human beings and products. At the time, they had Farrah Fawcett of Charlie's Angels, Charlie Chan, James Bond, some Nintendo stuff, the Hulk, and Bulk Rogers in the 25th Century, among many others. They also assisted in the initial development of Thundercats and was the worldwide licensing agent for Thundercats. 4 Kids spent most of the beginning of its life licensing characters and concepts from things like Thundercats to Star Wars. The Legend of Zelda had the most impact moving forward from the 70s and 80s. The CEO that would be at the head of 4 Kids' most prominent years would be Alfred Kahn, a guy that helped bring Cabbage Patch Kids to the mainstream. He took over the company after then-President Bobby Kotick sold his shares to buy a sizable share of Activision, and would go on to be the CEO of Activision Blizzard to this day. When it came to licensing rights, 4 Kids would strike gold when they received the licensing rights to Pokemon, along with a share of the merchandising rights. This would launch them into an incredible growth, to the point that Fortune would name 4 Kids Entertainment the fastest growing company of 2000. After Pokemon and before Yu-Gi-Oh!, they had a few fun ventures. They signed a licensing agreement to create Hot Wheels featuring Pace Motorsports monster trucks in April of 2000. The best one of these, of course, was the Gravedigger, because that is a monster truck I had as a kid, and I remember this purple beauty. 4 Kids would continue to grow even further in 2001 when they gained both merchandising and television rights to the first Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. I say the first, technically there was a series before that, colloquially known as Season 0, but it's like kind of the first for America. Now, I could go over all of the shows that 4 Kids had, and I normally would, but you can wait for my other video. I'm gonna make an entire other video on just 4 Kids shows because I want to do a lot of research into whatever Chaotic was. So I guess you're gonna have to subscribe to find out more about the shows that they had. 2005 would be the beginning of the end for 4 Kids. In October, they sold a 3% stake in the Pokemon Company to 3 companies that owned Pokemon: Nintendo, Game Freak, and Creatures. Now, this doesn't seem like a big deal, but Pokemon was where most of their money came from, and I'm sure as anyone in 2023 knows, Pokemon is a really big license. So they sold all of their rights to Pokemon back to Nintendo, Game Freak, and Creatures. In December, they announced that they wouldn't be dubbing the anime anymore. According to Eric Stewart, Pokemon USA has decided that it's too expensive to use 4 Kids and the actors that have made Pokemon the TV show such a success for the last 10 years. They have, behind our backs, recast the show with sound-alikes to try and save money. Adding on to that from Veronica Taylor, she says, "None of us have been formally asked to do the show. We've simply been told we'll be replaced. Pokemon USA has made no effort to negotiate with 4 Kids, simply feeling that getting a cheaper rate to dub the show is enough. They care nothing for quality." The Pokemon Company, formerly Pokemon USA, already had plans to use the mastermind of Mirage Pokemon as a testing ground for these new voice actors. After 4 Kids dropped their Pokemon agreement, new problems would arise in the 2010s, starting with their delisting on the New York Stock Exchange. And I gotta be honest, I don't know anything about the New York Stock Exchange, and neither does my husband, so that's all I'll be saying about that. Alright, In March of 2011, TV Tokyo and Nihon Ad Systems filed a joint lawsuit against 4Kids Entertainment. During one of the company's audits for the Yu-Gi-Oh business, the audit allegedly had a laundry list of underpayments and an under-the-table agreement with Funimation. Funimation did a majority of the work with home video and gave 4Kids a cut of it. In the end, the licensing agreement between 4Kids, TV Tokyo, and Nihon Ad System ended, meaning that 5 years after losing their moneymaker, Pokemon, 4Kids just lost their other moneymaker, Yu-Gi-Oh! By 2012, a three-way deal between 4Kids, Kids Co., and 4K Acquisitions would end up with 4K getting the rights to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise, while the rest of the licenses would go to Kids Co., including shows like Sonic X and Rubik's. Cubix. It's called Cubix, and I've not said that right once since I was a child and watched the movie. That's a video for another time. In the wake of shutting down in 2012, a former subsidy of 4Kids would be bought by Konami and renamed 4K Media. This company was used almost exclusively for the English dub of Yu-Gi-Oh! Products, and they would undergo another name change in 2019 as Konami Cross Media. This was due to them managing other products like Bomberman and Frogger. The company would still be tied to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise almost exclusively, however. This is ultimately where 4Kids themselves would end. In 2016, they declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy for the second time and then shut down in 2017. As for the voice actors themselves, for many people their entire childhood, most of the ones formerly working with 4Kids are still working for 4K Media and voice in the newest Yu-Gi-Oh! Products, while others have moved on to other work or retired. And that is the rise and fall of 4Kids Media. Basically, they just played their cards wrong, and they missed out on the gold. There's like a tale of as old as time here, and I can't remember what short story it is, but, you know, embrace your loved ones while you have them. Yeah, so basically the only reason that they failed is because they sold Pokemon, which was their main moneymaker, and then Yu-Gi-Oh!, and then got audited. Very sad. 4Kids was not there when I was a young lass. I just watched TMNT on it for sometimes. Well, that was the rise and fall of 4Kids. Let me know what you thought of the video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all of the whatevers that other YouTubers tell you to do. Let me know what I should cover next, besides a list of everything that 4Kids had on their channel. And I will see you guys in the next one. Unless 4Kids censors me and turns me into an actual crab.